We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all the lost, both the near and far. You're in our hearts. You're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home to stay.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody tonight?
Hi, how's it going?
It's going.
I need to figure out my volume. Strangely, I seem to be having sound issues, but I think it should be good now. Should be good. All right.
So, hello, everybody in my chat and Char's chat. I'm not going to call anybody out because there's a bunch already. So, Char gifted 5 memberships, but I did not see who all they went to.
I actually gifted 10 memberships because I made a stream and then I gifted 5 and then we decided to go through yours and I redid my stream and then I gifted another 5. And I also saw that Ben gifted 5. Thank you, Ben. And Women's Warrior became a member. I think that's it for me. I don't know if anything went on your end.
Well, I'm not monetized, so I don't have memberships yet.
Oh, right.
I'll get there eventually. So,
pretty soon.
Huh?
I think pretty soon.
Hopefully. I think, I forget, I think I had 340 something subs last time I checked. So thank you everybody who has subbed up to me. I appreciate it. So when I decided to do this live yesterday, I had some specific things I wanted to go over. And then Wolfie got in contact with me and wanted to get a message out. And I told him since I'm not monetized, I would get that message out. So before we do that, Char, is there anything you want to say?
No, I'm good. You carry on doing whatever it is that you and Wolfie are doing, and then we'll get to what we're doing.
All right. So I wanted to show. I'm going to take us off the screen for just a moment as soon as I find out where my mouse is. So this is one of 2 screenshots that Wolfie wanted me to show, and I will show those as I play out his message to Durwood and Jordan. Give me just a moment here and let me do some reconfiguration so you guys can hear that voice clip. Okay, so hopefully you all are going to be able to hear this, and I don't blow anybody's eardrums out. Again, this is from Wolfie to Durwood and to Jordan. I told him this was a one-time thing, that I would go ahead and put this out. So here we go.
We're not hearing it. We're not hearing it yet.
Okay, hold on.
When you share the audio, make sure you hit the. I do this all the time. There's a little toggle on there. You have to hit share audio.
Because what I'm trying to do here is just play it from Facebook. So let me see here. Hold on. I know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, hold on. Let me remove this. Let me add us back to stage here. Okay, so tell me if you guys can hear it now.
No. So if you want to do that, you have to share your screen.
Okay, so give me just a second here, guys, and let me share my screen.
If you want to share, if you want to just forward whatever voice clip it is to me, and then that way, like, I know that there's nothing that I don't, like, there's nothing like in our messages that you can't put up on the screen, you know what I mean? So I don't know what you've got going on, but I don't mind if you share your Facebook screen and bring up our chat. So if you forward that voice clip to me and then just open that chat and share the audio, you should be able to do it. Or if you still can't do it, you forward that voice clip to me. I can open it on my end and share the audio. If that makes
Okay,
sense.
so let's see. I sent it to you.
Okay.
So let me. I'll have you. Are you able to put it up then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I can. Just a second. Just a second.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
Okay. I've fucked up so many times. That's why I can do this, because I know. However, I've never tried to play a voice clip before. So,
so if it doesn't work like this, what we'll do is I will just have Wolfie send me an actual video that I can like download on the computer, or I will have to do it later and I will record the call. I can do that because I have it recorded, so I can do that tonight.
okay, I've got it. We're good here. There's a couple of things that I want to remove.
Yep, just let me know when you're ready to put it up on the screen. So while she's doing that, I will go ahead and show these. Oh, you got it?
I do believe I do. Okay, if you can't hear this, guys, let me know right away, okay?
Hey, Jordan. Hey, Durwood. So I wanted to clear the air on a few things. My girlfriend's not Sunny Austin, but I live with my girlfriend. I don't live with my parents. As for my ex-wife goes, that's none of your business, but I don't have a daughter. Okay? I don't know where you got that from. The daughter, it was my ex's wife's daughter, and nothing happened out of it. She just wanted to get out of the marriage and she lied. That's enough said. My girlfriend's not Sunny Austin, Jordan, and shenanigans is not an ugly mutt, by the way. That's not cool to name call people. But I've got a whole bunch of recordings that you've name called me, threatening me over the phone in your recordings. Just as much as you recorded our phone conversations, Jordan, and didn't even tell me about it. You lied to me about that. Okay? Not to mention you recorded AB and you sent it all to your little friends, right? Because I got it. I got that message. I ended up sending back to AB. So I don't know what that was all about, but whatever. I don't know what game you're playing or psychological warfare that both you guys are playing, but it's not cool. So I got a question for the both of you. Before Christmas, a few weeks before Christmas, there was a party. Daniel was there, Jordan, and Jordan, of course, you were there, and your ex-girlfriend, Jordan, whoever that may be, or your girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. I don't know what to call her anymore. I don't know. I just don't believe a word I have to say half the time. So anyways, you took an edible that your ex-girlfriend brought, whatever. You took an edible that she bought, and it knocked you on your ass. And your dad's telling people that I've heard from 3-4 different people already now in the last week that he saw Daniel dragging you on the ground by your foot or by your leg, dragging you towards the house while Daniel was looking at your phone. This is Durwood's story. And then he told Daniel to F off. He didn't want to see him again, whatever that the case may be. I don't know. No matter. So then Durwood, Jordan says that in his story, Daniel took him to bed. So which is it? What's the story here, guys? I'm just curious because it's out there to a few people and it's got back to me. And I've had I don't want that on my conscience, to be honest. I really don't. Because I wouldn't do that to a friend, drag him by the foot, and at least I would help him up and take him to bed. I wouldn't even look at his phone, more or less. I wouldn't look at his phone at all, to be honest. I don't agree with that. That just sounds fucked. You accuse me of popping pills, Jordan, but yet here you are taking edibles. I was taking painkillers for my back, and I was taking muscle relaxants. But I'm not doing them anymore. I'm not addicted to them. I don't know where you got that story from. I really don't. Both of you guys are just so delusional. It's not even funny. You like to believe your own lies. And yes, I believe that you guys are both lying because Durwood, you inserted yourself, both of you actually inserted yourselves into this case from the beginning. And you guys have done nothing but twist stories around and changing your stories half the time. So it's hard to keep up. Not to mention, Durwood, you've attacked people. When people didn't believe in your story, it wasn't the fact that nobody was believing in you, Durwood. It was the fact that everybody's entitled to their own opinions. We were allowed to have our own opinions, including me. And you attacked me and you attacked others. So, of course, the most logical thing to do was attack you. And that's all I've been doing. So, and then you align yourself with Kent, Durwood, and you've been choking it down people's throats for months. For 8 months, you've been doing that. And all of a sudden, you change your story or tune around. The story gets changed all of a sudden. The whole the whole shish story, right? And the whole, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And the two of you is just, it's like a sideshow. Like, I don't know. Seems like a sideshow to me, and it's like a circus. And there's two kids balancing right now. And that's what we need to focus on are the kids. And yet we're worrying about what you guys two are doing. And there hasn't been any any stuff coming out from the RCMP or anything coming out from the families. So you're just creating all these lies to get everybody going. So, which is true here, guys? Really? And then you throw me under the bus on top of it. Not cool. As for your theory, Jordan, I don't know what you're talking about with your everybody's trying to make money off of your story, your off this case and blah blah blah. Everybody's all these co-creators I talk to on an everyday basis almost, all we're doing is creating awareness. And Jack and Lilly deserve to be we're there to be their voices. That's all we're there for. And to create that awareness to keep that out there. Just like Kent when he does his signs, when he makes up his signs and the decals and everything. By the way, Kent, I still haven't got that sign back when I gave you that $20 back in June. So I'm just wondering where my sign is. Because I still haven't got it. Because I would like to put it up in my window. And I still haven't gotten it. So what's the deal with that? So the three of you have aligned yourselves together just to create these stories that, I don't know, maybe in the Tim Hortons, your local Tim Hortons, wherever that may be, and you just talk to people just to, I don't know, it just seems like it's a days of our lives at Pictou County for some strange reason. And there's two children out there that are dangling right now, wondering where the children are. That's all I give a shit about. When I inserted myself, it was a CBC interview that came on CBC on my TV on May 2nd. So they're not in my basement, Jordan, that you accuse me of. You know, you really need to stop drinking, Jordan. You really do. Because all your messages, you're just slurring your words. Maybe that's why you got fired, Jordan. Did you ever think of that? Because you came on the Mike the Man show and had your little temper tantrum. And you accused me. Well, no, you didn't accuse me. You accused everybody. And all YouTube creators that we're these bad people and everything like that. You're looking for something to blame. And you're blaming everybody. It's not Jordan's fault that Jordan lost his job and his girlfriend. It's our fault because we're wrecking your life. Well, that's not true. The both of you guys inserted your lives, inserted yourselves into this, and from the beginning. So you guys are a bunch of hypocrites when you think about it. So what's the deal here, guys? I'm just curious. And then Jordan, you had your little rant with Mike the Man. And then you start recording people. You recorded me and lied to me for months when I tried to be your friend. In the beginning, yeah, I'll admit, I tried to get you in a live with before you went on Mike the Man and before you went on AB's show. When you recorded AB, and you sent that video to me, and I sent it back to AB and told you what you were doing. Not cool, man. It's not cool. So what's the deal? Did you ever think that maybe you got fired from your job because you might have shown up drunk? Or you were working machinery under the influence? Maybe that's why they let you go. Did you ever consider that? And you might have wrecked your credibility because of that. And that's why you can't find a job. Maybe that's why your girlfriend left you, Jordan. Because you got fed up with your bullshit. Because all you do is drink. I've got plenty of messages from you just hammered out of your mind. Not to mention, I've got calls from you late at night at 2 o'clock in the morning, my time, still hammered. So what's the deal? So you really need to clean your act up, Jordan. You really do. And you got to stop drinking and you got to stop blaming people. Same with your dad. You got to stop blaming people and start thinking about these children and thinking about their lives right now, because we don't know if they're unalive. We don't know if they are alive. We just don't know. And the RCMP is not giving up any information for a reason. So what's the deal? And Jordan, I know that you put my girlfriend's name in the chat. And if you can provide proof that you didn't do it, show me. Because if it wasn't you, then it was your lawyer buddy and the lawyer's PI. So which is it? Which is the truth? That's all I want is the truth. That's what everybody wants is the truth of what happened to Jack and Lilly. And that's all we want. Because we're out there creating awareness for Darius McDougall and Dylan Elder, all those people that are missing across Canada, right? We're just creating awareness for people, trying to find these people, trying to find these children. And nobody's making money off of anybody, really, if you look at it. Sunny Justice is not my girlfriend, by the way, Jordan. She's not a... I don't know where you guys got that. Like, wow, you guys, you think you call me Four Eyes, but I think you need glasses there, bud. That's all I got to say. You've looked at my girlfriend's profile many times. I know that for a fact because you've looked at it. I don't know how she looks like Sunny. But anywho, I'll leave it as that. I hope you guys can answer my question on that party. What's really going on there? And the stories that you guys have been telling, it's like folk tales. You know, I'm almost going to be, I'm not going to give you my age, but I'm old enough to know better. And I could tell, but what I can tell is when I know somebody's lying and when they're not. And I've learned a lot with these co-creators over the last few months to see that. And my hope is that for the two of you guys smarten up. Maybe we can get together and we can help and find these children. Or I think you guys, in my opinion, know where the children are and you're just covering it up. So which is it? I hope you guys have a good night.
Okay, so that was a message from Wolfie to Durwood, and these are the messages that he asked me to show, and I will show them, and then we will get back to focusing on Jack and Lilly and where they are and reviewing some old tapes. So this is a message from Daleen. I'm not even going to bother reading this, but I will show it. And then this is the last part of that message. So that being said, that is out there. Now let's get back to focusing on Jack and Lilly and where they are. So, Sharmain, before we go any further, do you have anything to say?
I don't, other than the end of that. I hope we can get together and we can work together. I think for me, that ship has sailed. It is the fucking Titanic and it is at the bottom of the Atlantic. There's no way that I can have trust or cooperation with any of those people who thrive on the drama and the misinformation and refuse to have an open mind. I don't even want to deal with any of them anymore. So Wolfie, as much as I appreciate, the sentiment coming together for Jack and Lilly, I feel like fill your boots. I'm done being walked over, and I'm just over it. Now it's time to focus on shit that matters, because none of what they do matters to me. And the last 22 hours has been nice. It's been quiet, and I look forward to the rest of covering this case, ignoring all of these irrelevant individuals. Jack and Lily. That's all I care about. But thank you, Wolfie.
So thank you, Wolfie, for sharing that. I told you I would get that message out, and I have done so. So let's get back to Lily and Jack Sullivan, who went missing from their home on Garlock Road in Lansdowne. Lily Sullivan, 6 years old, and brother Jack Sullivan, aged 4, were reported missing from their rural home in Nova Scotia, Canada on Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Lily has brown hair and is believed to be wearing pink pants, pink jumper, and pink wellies, and also has a strawberry corduroy backpack with her. Jack has sandy blonde hair and is believed to be wearing dark clothing and dinosaur wellies. You can help by calling the Pictou County RCMP at 902-485-4333 or Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. And also, isn't it, it's P3 TIPS, is that right, Sharmain? Okay. So, in the live I did the other night, I had mentioned the beach picture, and somebody said that that picture was an old picture, that it wasn't recent. And I informed them it was. I looked for the screenshot. It wasn't 5 seconds after that live that I found the screenshot of the Snapchat, and that is right here. So there is the picture that was posted. And it says, "Is this the girl with the missing kids?" Cheryl replied, "Yes. Why?" They replied, "LMFAO. What a scumbag. She knows exactly what happened to them. Nothing like being glorious and happy while your babies are missing." Now, this right there proves this was while the children were missing. Now, let me read the rest of that, and then Sharmain and I can give our thoughts on it. "We got her out for the day. She needed a day out. She definitely doesn't know, but I can't really say much. Till I think is what they mean. The investigation is over, but I will fill you in on it all. She is still a human being. She still needs to live. Being depressed at home all day crying isn't going to change anything. Why screenshot it? Maybe continue to help with the search. I don't even have kids, but I have some I'd die for, and I damn sure wouldn't be posting myself happy as a clam in or on a beach." I won't read those other words. You can see them. "Don't let her fool you. She definitely knows. She definitely does know. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, and because my friend wanted to see." So, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion on this, that just because she went to the beach, right? Am I saying that it was a wonderful idea to take a picture and post it for the world to see, which this is an up close picture of it? No, I don't think that was the brightest idea. However, having had a missing child, and my child was only gone for a week, and so at this point, the kids had this was in approximately June, if I remember correctly. The kids have been missing a while. Her getting out for one day, okay, so be it. She needs a day to decompress and all of that. So I personally, although I think it was in bad taste to post the picture, I don't see a problem with her getting out of the house for a day. What about you, Shar?
I had said, like, by the time this beach picture came out, we had heard that Malaya had been suffering with depression, postpartum, worse than postpartum depression, we started hearing kind of rumors of abuse, and this is like 2 months in. So I never had a problem with Malaya going to the beach for a day, and I understand the need to you know, get vitamin D, get out, to feel normal in abnormal circumstances. But sharing the picture was, I mean, it was beyond bad taste, in my opinion. It was, um, there's no other way to put it. It was just plain stupid because if you didn't realize that picture was going to go viral, then you really need to stop and think before, because I would hate to see what else you post. Um, because, yeah, when your kids are missing, you don't want to come across as unsympathetic, number one. And number two, I mean, the nation is looking for your children, and at this point, and still to this day, Malaya hasn't publicly pled for her children's safe return or information about her children. She said in a letter once, she asked us to keep looking for her children. It's a bad look to have this picture 2 months in, and at the time Daniel's still out doing what Daniel was doing, searching for her kids. It should have been kept private, because doing things like this when you're going through stressful situations is important, I think. But to post it, it almost seemed to me as some kind of a dig or a jab at Daniel. You know, you're being attacked online constantly, and I'm at the beach. You know, have a party. That's how it came across to me. Just more of a personal dig, without realizing maybe that it was going to have the effect that it had. But again, if you didn't realize it was going to do that, then, you know, I don't know. Bad decision. And that's another piece of it too. I can't remember. The chat is going kind of quick on my end, but if, like, for the longest time, I believed that Malaya knew her kids were not alive, and that she had been grieving for these 2 months, and this could have been a way to get her out of the house, to let her feel the sun. You know how when you're grieving and you're so down, just little things like that you don't even consider doing for yourself. So if her friends drug her out there to get that, it shouldn't have been shared on social media in any way, shape, or form. Just my opinion. But that's how I truly feel about it. I don't know how I feel about my theory then anymore, but I still feel like this was a really, really, really rotten decision making.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely a very bad decision, because at this point, you know, there are so many people covering your missing children, and while you are not crying out for them, you're going to the beach. So yes, definitely in very, very bad decision and in very poor taste to post it. And I agree, I never looked at it as a dig to Daniel. But we've heard Haley say, you know, she's living her on Sunny the other night. Was out living her best life and drinking, and we've heard rumors of her out partying. And again, none of that is in good taste when your children are missing, and you released the "please bring me home" letter, and you didn't release it in your own voice. And you said that people needed to be a voice and speak up, but yet we've not heard hers.
And that bites me. It really does. That bothers me probably more than most things in this case. It really does.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up to show people that this was not an old picture, that this was while the children were missing. And I actually found out about this picture from Clutchpearls Justin, who had done a video on it, and I was like, oh wow, I can't believe that that is how she's out portraying herself with 2 missing kids. That was my first thought.
I agree. 100%. And yeah, just so we're clear, Cheryl is the woman with Malia here, and it was Cheryl that posted it. I suspect Malia knew it was going to be posted, but I don't know that one, if not both of them, should have known the, the. I mean, they know enough to want to stay away from social media because of all the drama and the accusations and stuff, but they don't know enough to not put a picture at the beach while your kids are missing and you're not looking for them. It's just odd to me. Odd.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she should have been, and I know she can't be doing it 24/7, but again, you could at least be pleading for your kids instead of having a day on the beach. But again, I understand needing to get out of the house and needing a reprieve from everything. But definitely in very poor taste and a very bad decision, in my opinion, because I feel like they should have known. If they didn't, they should have known that it was going to be picked up and ran with.
Yeah. And like I said, they know enough to stay off of social media because of shit like that, but then they post this picture. It's like I said, poor decision making, and myself, I think it was poorly calculated decision.
I agree. So let's remove that. And I'm no good at this, guys, so hold on. So I wanted to go over a couple of older videos that had been done. And this was, let's see, hopefully this posts to both chats, but this is the link to it. So this was done with Hidden in the Fog. I posted the link right here if you guys want to go watch it. It's not real long, 10 minutes, so I thought we would watch it and discuss it. Is there anything you want to say before we play it?
No, go ahead.
All right, guys, here we go. Let me know, guys, if you can hear it.
It's taken back to Malaya, who basically identified and said, yes, that looks like it could be Lily's blanket. Oh, here she comes. Good. It's much better if somebody who was there actually. Welcome, Haley.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so just touching on the subject of the blanket. I've kept pretty quiet. I have a son of my own, right? And Lily and Jack are my niece and nephew. But yeah, the subject of the blanket, it was found on a tree branch.
So can everybody hear that? Okay, it sounds good. Thank you, TJ's mom. This was posted July 4th. So 2 months and 2 days after the kids were reported missing. And this is Haley Ferdinand speaking with Hidden in the Fog. And Haley is Malaya's stepsister, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so let me play this out a little bit and we'll stop here and there and talk about it.
On Lansdowne Station Road in the evening of day 1. Okay. It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door at the home, and it was thrown out. And this one just ended up on a tree, I guess. But yeah.
Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket and took it back to Malaya for identification?
Yes, Hayden and I did. Yeah.
Okay. And then she said, yeah, it is. And so you called the police who went and, I guess, collected it?
Yeah, no, the police were already down searching that area, but it was in such an open spot that cops were already down there and it wasn't seen earlier on. So it's just all a little mysterious, you know?
People can't believe we're selling real gold jewelry for under $40. I get it. After 33 years of charging hundreds for these same pieces, even I can't believe these prices.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So was search and rescue in that area?
I don't believe on day one, right down there right away. So I was there from the get-go of when everything started. But yeah, so I don't know how it was missed because it was right on like the start of like a logging road or ATV trail right by the main Lansdowne Station Road, the dirt road. But yeah.
Okay. All right. And the other half, right, was found in the garbage.
So what I don't like is they're saying half of the blanket was in the tree and half of the blanket was in the garbage. Because from my understanding, it wasn't really half of it. It was only a piece of it, like a small piece of it. Right, Shar?
Right. And could I just clear up the connection here? So
Yeah, go ahead.
Haley and Hayden are half brother and sister. Joe is their dad. Amanda is their mom. Hayden's dad is Joe, and his mom is Cindy. Malaya's mom is Cindy, and her dad is Henry. So Malaya and Hayden have the same mom, Cindy. But Haley has a different mom and a different dad, but is Hayden's half sibling. So Hayden is Malaya's half brother, right? I believe that's correct. It's very
I
complicated.
think so.
I mean, the easiest way to say it is step sibling. It's a distant step sibling, obviously, but there's no blood relation. They're not half sisters. No, they're not half sisters. They're kind of stepsisters because Haley is Hayden's half sister, and Hayden shares the same mother with Malaya. Haley shares the same father with Hayden. So even though, never mind. I mean, you can call her a stepsister, but it's not. It's a stepsister through Hayden's step relation to Malaya. Yes,
it's a very complicated family tree.
We should definitely build a family tree just to illustrate it. Like, I know what I'm saying in my head, and the easiest way to say it is that Haley is a distant stepsister to Malaya. It is very confusing, but Haley and Hayden share a dad. Hayden and Malaya share a mom. And anybody else outside of that is still considered a step sibling to this family. So we will build a, maybe to go into the holy grail of documents. We'll build a family tree. But I wanted to try my best to clear that up because it is very difficult to explain and to wrap your head around. So there is a train and Harley is pissed. So you go ahead. I'm muting until it's done.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to build a family tree and put that in the document because this family has so many branches and the way people are related, and so many people are saying, well, she's a half sister, well, she's a stepsister, well, they're no relation at all. It does get very confusing. And so, yes, I will have to work on that. And I think Daphne and Shenanigans might have done a family tree. I will have to reach out and see. So I will definitely work on that. Before we go any further with Hidden in the Fog, I want to share we have a couple of new photos of the kids that have not been seen, and I'll share one now and then we'll share one here in just a little bit. So there you see little Jack on the end, and you see Lily. I can't tell what she's snuggling with. And then of course you see Daniel. Now, you said that you thought this was at Patty's house?
Grandma Patty, yeah. And like, I don't know, do you have the picture up so you can zoom it in?
Yeah, I can. Give me just a second and I will.
Zoom in on the kids. I'm pretty sure she's not snuggling with anything. She's just kind of cradled herself there and leaning on Daniel's knee, but they're both very enthralled. I'm gonna place my bets that little Jack there is probably watching Baby Shark, and maybe Malaya's got some Cocomelon or some kind of fun little game that they're playing on the phones. But the picture up in the corner, I can't really see it. There's a picture up in the corner of the picture, and it's a caricature of a man who does resemble Patty's husband who passed away. That's just my, like, I don't know for sure, but that's just what I thought when I first got the picture. I was like, that looks a lot like, yeah. So she's not snuggled up to anything, just kind of leaning on Daniel's knee.
So this is the caricature picture that you're talking about that makes you think that it's at Patty's house.
Yeah, the man playing the banjo there.
And there's a better picture. I can zoom in better that way.
Yeah, they're just so sweet.
They're
so
very
sweet.
happy and content with whatever they're watching or playing.
That's why I called like Baby Shark for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty enthralled with whatever he's watching, and she's like, "Yep, I got this. Just leave me be."
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to.
That's correct, Belinda. We'll make a family tree. And yes, the RCMP took the tablets. There's nothing on them. They're just children's tablets. They didn't even. I asked Daniel. I went down the list of the software and the games that predators often use, and he said no, but the RCMP would have that information.
See, I didn't realize RCMP had the tablets because last I knew
they didn't keep the tablets, right? They searched the tablets, from what I understand, but they've been given back, and the kids they went with the belongings, as far as I know.
Okay, because I thought one of the reasons Daniel was turned in by Malaya to CPS is because he took the tablets and her mail and put it in her trunk at a visit, because remember Janie said if she was there, she would have given her a hand and not the mail.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like, they are now back in Malaya's or Cheryl's possession, because I mean, I don't know to this day, but I know that the kids' belongings were dropped off at Cheryl's house for whatever reason. But
yes,
but I heard that the day that she got the mail, she got the tablets back as well.
Yeah, that was my understanding of it as well. Okay, so let's play a little bit more of Haley talking with Hidden in the Fog.
I believe so. I wasn't back at the house for that to know that, but that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what Logan said. And yeah, so.
Which is really peculiar, right? Like, how, if the blanket was put in the garbage, how did it get out of the garbage and half of it get into a tree, right?
And I mean, quite a ways down the road, like down the paved road from where they lived, up a dirt road, a good at least mile or two. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a head scratcher for anybody, right? Kat is asking, how are you and how is Malaya doing?
Things are, well, you know, everything's touch and go. The subject is very touchy for family. Malaya's trying to live somewhat of a normal life. She shouldn't be expected to sit in the house and be miserable. She can.
And I agree with that. She shouldn't just be sitting in a house being miserable. But a caveat to that is she should at least be looking for or begging for the safe return of her children.
Exactly. I don't think many people would cast as harsh a judgment on Malaya's beach visit or quad trips if she was out posting pictures for her kids, not talking on YouTube or Facebook chats or anything like that, but even posting on her own Facebook, missing persons posters, or doing the odd media interview, asking people to help her look for her kids, not telling people to keep her kids' names out there. I don't see. I mean, I can't. How can I relate, right? But I don't see a mother who's searching for children.
I agree. And that's
she's
something,
done, including the hospital thing. Like, I get it. I feel bad. All of that stuff, but you've got missing kids, and you're not looking for them. It's troubling, to say the least.
it is. And, something that bugs me, even if she doesn't want to be on social media, and when I say social media in this sense, I mean YouTube. If she doesn't want to be going to creators, I get that. I understand that. But I don't see on her Facebook, except for where she first posted that she wanted an Amber Alert, that she has begged for her kids or posted a missing person flyer. I mean, it would take 10 seconds of her day to do so?
Exactly, unless she's trying to not think about them for whatever reason. It could be, a dozen different reasons why she wouldn't want to think about it all the time, but every single one of those reasons would come back to exactly where they are and or what happened.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I can think, is that she knows what happened or she knows where they are, because you don't look for something that's not lost if you know where it's at, right? You're not going to ask for your kids to be returned safely if you know there's no chance of them to be done, to be returned safely.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, and that is an old picture. It's clearly an old picture. Jack looks to be maybe 2, pushing 2. I'd say Lilly might have been 4, maybe. Very not a recent picture, but it's still a new picture. And I've been asking and asking and asking just for new pictures of Jack and Lilly, so we can keep reminding everybody that these are real children. It's not content. It's not just a storyline, and it's certainly not a fucking game that we're playing Clue online. These are real kids, and they're out there somewhere.
Exactly. And we're just trying to keep their name out there. And don't worry, guys, I will show the pictures again here in a little bit, along with the other picture.
Alert. Where is truth? It was a vulnerable person's alert. It wasn't an Amber Alert. So
Yes. The only thing I've seen from Malaya is her asking for an Amber Alert, but they didn't actually issue one because it didn't meet the criteria. So what they did is issue a vulnerable persons alert instead.
And then she deleted that fairly quickly after leaving Daniel. She deleted that post. So yeah.
That's okay. We all have it anyway, or at least I do, and anybody who wants it can have it. It's also in the document. So let's play a little bit more of this unless you have something that you want to say.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so just a reminder, guys, the link to this is up on the screen. This is Haley Ferdinand talking with Hidden in the Fog. And Haley is the one that went on Sunny's show here, about a week ago, and played some voice clips where she said Haley was drinking and all of that. Yes, it is the same Haley.
And have a life too, right? She just, we don't know what happened. I only know from what I was told. I obviously wasn't there when the kids went missing, but she deserves to not be ridiculed as well, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sticking up for anybody in this situation. I know as much as everybody else about what had happened with the children, right? So
yeah. I mean, it's a tragedy. And I think that what adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police would could figure out what happened, and Lily and Jack could be found, it would give people a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
My body truly grew weary.
To the point where it's 2 months too long as family. Like we're hurting over this. Like it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like people are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've stayed quiet.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Like I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right? But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know because people are starting to message and ask. But,
But it's hard not to ridicule her, in my opinion. It's really hard when the mother of 2 missing children is not pleading for their safe return, sharing their photos, sharing their missing picture photo, doing the bare minimum. Like her one and only job was to protect her children, and she didn't do it.
And I mean, that's true. But once your kids go missing, how do you, tell the world you know what happened to your kids without saying you know what happened to your kids. And then look at what Malaya's done. That's just my opinion, but I don't know what else to think at this point. And still doesn't say anything. And I understand she's been in the hospital. But that was a long 7 months that she wasn't in the hospital. So
Exactly. And where was her voice for that 7 months? Even if it's not her actual voice, like I said, it takes 2 seconds of your day. Let's even say it takes you a full minute to post on Facebook or wherever. I love you, Jack and Lily. I want you home. I need you home. I miss you. And share the flyer. It doesn't take that long. And then go about your day. But at least you've done something.
yeah, exactly. But we haven't seen any of it. We saw that letter that was read by somebody else, and it was I don't know. Can't relate, so I shouldn't judge, but I am. Just because, why aren't you looking for your kids?
Well, see, that's the thing. I can relate. And it's not that I'm trying to judge her, but it's hard not to be frustrated in the fact that YouTube creators, you, me, Sunny, Shenanigans, Daphne, Justin from Clutchpearls, AB, all of us are keeping the kids' name out there. And she can't seem to be bothered to at least make a post, even if it were once a week. Nature Walk said, M is broken, suffering from mental illness. We have no clue. But does that give her a pass? I don't think that necessarily gives her a pass to not show that she wants her children back.
I agree. And like I said, even if we go 6.5 months, she didn't make a single post. She wrote a letter after she was basically begged to write a letter or do something, say something to the public. She just hasn't come across as a mother who, number one, is either, looking for her kids, worried about her kids, has no idea where her kids are, or is grieving for her kids and desperately wants to find answers. It's just nothing about her behavior says that anything's even wrong, right? Just if you didn't know, you'd have no idea she had 2 missing kids in the largest search operation in Canadian or Nova Scotian history, and the highest profile case in recent Canadian history. To look at her behavior over the last 6.5 months, hospital stay excluded, you wouldn't even know that she was going through anything in public. We saw her in Walmart the one time, and other people have saw her, going into stores or whatnot, and it just doesn't feel normal to me. I don't know. It just doesn't feel normal to me.
I agree. And, it's not. It's not normal when you have a missing child, or in her case, children, and not be begging for their safe return. I mean, even in U.S. history, if you look back at a lot of cases, there are mothers who have unalived their children, but still went on and pleaded for their safe return, even though they knew they weren't going to be returned, because they knew what they did. And yet Malaya can't seem to be bothered. And this is, like I said, from July, I believe 4th. July 4th. But again, we're, over 8 months in at this point, and she still isn't posting or begging. And I understand not going to YouTube creators. I can totally back her on that, and I can totally understand that. But it's her own Facebook, and her own family members are coming out and saying, even recently with Haley on Sunny's, she doesn't talk about it, even at home. And it's like, for me, I would expect, at least if she wasn't coming on like YouTube or social media, she'd still be telling her family, I wish they'd find my kids. I wish my kids would come home, and speaking about it privately.
I agree. Malaya gets a pass from me. I do not know how she feels and how horrendous this is for her. I sure hope she doesn't listen to any content creators. Her family sucks. Her family is who she's leaning on, and content creators, for the most part, we all, I guess, assume, probably too often. But if you look at other cases of missing, and I'm going to speak directly about Eli Wood. I had the opportunity to reach out to Eli's mother just to see if she wanted to come on to my channel to talk about the case. And she said no, she didn't. She doesn't want to impact the investigation because the RCMP, she was certain, were working, I think it was the Toronto, I can't remember, but the police were working on the case and getting good leads, and she didn't want to do anything to impact that. However, she had talked to the media. She was active in her child's disappearance. She was trying to find answers, and that was clear to everybody. Still is. So to be invited and decline for reasons that she gave, totally understandable. And so many other cases. Even Darius McDougal, his parents, they're out there. They've decided they don't want to do YouTube right now. And I don't blame them, but they're still out there. They're still sending messages to Darius. They're still asking the public for help. They're still talking to mainstream media. They're still doing gatherings to hang missing persons posters up. They're still actively looking for their child. And we haven't seen a shred of any of that. Not even a hint of it. Not just from Malaya, but from Malaya's family. We've got Haley, who talks a little bit here and there. We have Cheryl, who will answer certain people here and there. But they want to stay out of social media. Fine. But post. Show us that you want us to help you look for your kids. I don't understand that. So.
Yeah, I mean, something my grandma always told me, you can't help those that don't want to help themselves. And in this case, I mean, I know that my grandma wasn't speaking of stuff like this, but show us that you want help looking for your kids. I'm not saying that because they're not showing that we're going to stop. I'm just saying I'd like to see it. Now, in that, I will also say I was glad to see that some of Malaya's family helped in the Please Bring Me Home search. But that was what, almost 8 months in.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's things that I'm not comfortable talking about, but the helping with the search for at least one of those people was they didn't it wasn't for the reasons that we would think a family member would join in the search.
I can agree with that. I think a lot of it was for show, but at least they showed it, I guess, is the way I consider that.
They took time out of their day, absolutely. They did.
But I disagree, Mariska. I don't give Malaya a pass by any means for several reasons. Let's just say that the kids are alive and they're somewhere. We don't know where. The fact of the matter is she's not showing any signs of looking for her children. She stayed in a relationship, and yes, I've been in a relationship where I had to deal with TV. I get that. But she stayed with a man that she knew was hurting her children without even trying to get away, in my opinion. So I cannot give her a pass.
And had opportunities to get away. I mean, if it was that bad, and I'm not judging, because I've been in this situation too, where you don't realize how bad it is because you're in it, right? And I've been in those situations. But if you've got your family and you're planning on leaving and your family's renting a U-Haul, or there are avenues for you to escape, and you choose to change your mind,
Exactly. I mean, she had opportunity after opportunity. And I know before somebody comes at me and says, well, it takes multiple times of trying to leave before you are successful. The key part of that is trying to leave. She did not make any attempt that I see in attempting to leave or trying to leave, even though 2 weeks prior, her family was ready to come get her in a U-Haul. No, it's okay. Or she was, the day before, she could have at Patty's house said, nope. Or on Wednesday, she could have said, no, we're not going home with you. find a way home. We're staying here. Something. She had multiple opportunities and chose to take none of them to at least attempt. If she would have attempted, I could have gave her a little more grace. But she hasn't even attempted.
Yeah. I think I gotta go let Harley out. He's gonna eat the microphone. I have to let him out. I can smell him. he's got a poo. I'll be back in a few.
All right. Well, while you let Harley out, I'm going to play a little bit more of this. And again, this is Haley Ferdinand with Hidden in the Fog.
Oh, I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we all know and have not said anything. But it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house, and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister, Leia's mother, my partner, and we were all in the kitchen. We heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, Dan, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needed to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
And-
sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby,
Okay.
Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right, okay. Just to get it straight as to who we're talking about, so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom, and we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs.
So before I go any further, there was something that just caught my attention. There it is. Okay, so I want to reply to 2 comments here. Thank you, Helicopter Grandma, for that super sticker to Sharmain. When she gets back, I'm sure she will say thank you herself. So, American, that's all your opinion. We don't know if she ever attended. I think you mean attempted, and just saying you're correct. It is just my opinion. And that's all we have at this time is our opinions. And if you have a different one, that's fine. All opinions are welcome here as long as you say, in my opinion, and as long as you're nice about it. But in my opinion, she never attempted to leave, even though she had chances. So whether or not she did, she and her family are the only ones who actually know that. But in my opinion, I didn't see any proof that she attempted to. Cynthia says, when you are with a narcissist, it's really hard. They just say they will bring you right down if you want to leave. And I agree. My ex-husband was a narcissist. I left him the day he pulled a gun to my head. But again, I feel like we would have heard of her trying to leave. And it is hard to leave a narcissist. It really is. It's not something that's easy, and it does take multiple times. If you are dealing with a situation like that, in my description of this video, if you scroll down and you're in the United States, you will see how to get resources if you're dealing with CA or DV. So chat is moving really fast. So I'm probably missing a lot, and I wish I could respond to everybody, but if we do that, we're never going to get through these videos. So Haley just said that when Daniel went to the restroom, that she went in there to investigate after him, and there were rugs in there. So let's play that out a little bit more.
was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what the altercation was, because I was like, I confronted his family. It was actually me. And I said, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is that involved? My sister broke down and she admitted that he's been on it for 2 years.
So we all kind of knew that rugs were involved. And in the court documents, I believe it was Malaya said it. I'd have to go back and look to be sure. But she said he was acting very odd and was basically acting off and very standoffish. Well, of course he was. If he was on rugs, he wouldn't want to be right in the face of the RCMP. But if they're using the rugs as an excuse not to talk, then they don't need to be, because a missing child trumps any rug issues that are in the home, in my opinion. So if the RCMP is there looking for missing kids, they're going to be less worried about rugs being in the home than the fact that there's 2 missing children. Captain Justice said, I think she was on math also, or something else. As a parent, you have a duty to provide, nurture, and protect your children's best interest. And you do. But again, it didn't seem to happen. I'm proud of us all. We did what we had to do. Yeah. Daniel threatened her and maybe Malaya, but she has since come out and stands by the statement now. Yeah. So Haley's story hasn't changed, and she still stands by things that she said earlier in the case. When CPS visited, that was time for Malaya to get out and tell the truth. Yes, that's what I'm saying. She had multiple opportunities to get out, but chose not to. She could have told CPS. They could have helped protect her. She could have left weeks prior. She could have left when they went to Patty's. There were multiple times that she had the opportunity to ask for help, reach out for help, tell somebody what was going on, or to leave. And in my opinion, did not do so. Again, in my opinion. Char's back. Char, you got anything to say about Haley saying that there were rugs in the home and that was the cause of the disturbance at the end of the driveway?
Well, up until a certain point, okay, Daniel wasn't, I don't remember if he was denying or if he just wasn't addressing the accusations or the speculation that there were drugs in the home. And then at some point he said the only drugs in the house were Malaya's. He has since come out and admitted to using meth you're one of those channels, math and
you can say it however you want.
Okay. And so he's come out and admittedly used those drugs. So I think in some way, even though it took a little bit of hurdle jumping, it did get Daniel to admit that there was drug use in the home. But there's, I don't not believe Haley. He's now admitted to using meth and coke, so there's no reason to not believe Haley at this point, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, I'm just kind of trying to get in the practice of using the YouTube nice words because I don't want to get struck or have any issues if I ever get enough subs. So
I haven't had an issue yet. Like I'm not good. Like last night was all about like SKs or whatever the YouTube word is. and I use the proper names for, but I'm not worried about algorithm and stuff like that. Like, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't give a shit, but if you do, I will respect the YouTube lingo as best as I can. Ron, I have considered that. Nothing to do with Daniel, just because I know that, I mean, it is very taboo, even still to this day, for a man to come out and say, my partner abused me. It's hard, I think, for a man to admit that a woman has been physically, mentally, emotionally, financially abusive. And there's the trial that we were just in was basically about DB, a woman on a man. So I have considered that. It's unfortunate that Daniel's behavior online, text messages to his ex-girlfriend Taylor, and certain things that Malaya has said have all helped form this opinion that we all have of Daniel without any actual tangible proof to that. So I myself am waiting for the further unredacted documents to come out next month. Hopefully that'll paint a clearer picture, because from my understanding, those unredactions are basically all about their relationship. So, and I don't know, it made me really think that, so after Daniel had, consented or whatever to the information being released to the public, and that's kind of when he came out and he admitted to his drug use, because that's obviously in the documents that we're going to get, or the unredactions. That's obviously in there. So he wanted to get ahead of that. But it's just really interesting to me that Malaya is not consenting to anything being further unredacted. So, I mean, I'm really interested in seeing that. And until I get some tangible proof, I said, the tangible proof to me is the bruises on the kids. They're, the issue the school obviously had, the concerns they obviously had, the CPS involvement, all of that paints a picture for us to form an assumption on. And I'll wait for the court documents, but I mean, I'm not a fool. I think the same way everybody else does, but I'm not cemented in that belief. You know what I mean? If the court documents come out and say one thing, I'm not going to say, well, this is bullshit because I believe, So I don't even remember what the question was. I don't know why I went off like that. Oh, because this. But yeah, I'm going to mute myself now. You go ahead.
So I have thought of that, Ron Mexico, and I too have not ruled it out. As far as her being the aggressor towards Daniel or the kids, the only part as far as her being the aggressor towards the kids that makes me wonder about that is Belinda had told us that she was very soft-spoken and she never raised her voice or never punished, physically punished the kids, and that she was a great mom. So yes, things can change. I understand that. But until I'm kind of like Shar, until I get something that shows me otherwise, I'm not saying that she wasn't. I'm keeping an open mind about whether or not she could have been the aggressor. So Marie said, didn't she claim Cody tried to hit her with a hammer or something, or am I mixed up? I personally don't remember that. What about you, Shar?
In the custody filing for custody of Jack and Lily, I can't remember what they're called now. It's not custody and access. It's something else. But anyways, in those papers, when she was taking Cody for full custody, there was an accusation in there, I believe. But I have heard that. But caveat, I have heard that from Daniel. So, and where it's good, I do have, it's not a straight lying to Daniel anymore since he had to step back. He had told me that his court case with Meadow depended on him stepping out of social media. So since then, I do still have contacts who are in contact with Daniel, and it's just as good, right? Just as good. But yeah, no, the hammer thing, I did hear that. It was actually in the very first conversation that I had with Daniel, it was some of the information that I chose not to release. I don't know if you guys can remember back to May or early June when I released those screenshots. Daniel had given me a short list of things he did not want me to release, and that wasn't one of them. And I chose not. I wasn't comfortable doing that. I didn't know enough, and I still don't really know enough about the case, but that was in there, and it's since come out in other ways. That same accusation. I wasn't there though. I don't know if it happened. And I'm not saying this is what happened, but as a woman, I know that it's easy to lie on any piece of paper. So I'm not saying that's what happened, and I'm not saying I've ever done that, but I have actually seen it. I've seen women lie on the stand. I've seen women lie to a judge to get what they want. So I'll wait for the unredactions, or if it's even relevant to this case, I'll wait.
And I agree, sometimes the quiet ones are the ones you have to watch out. And, like Shar said, and I don't want to say just women, because men will too.
Absolutely.
In custody cases, it's not uncommon for, well, they were like this or they were like that, and to do the mudslinging and the lying, and not just on paper, but like you said, in front of a judge and other things. But I just would need, I'm one of the, I will trust, but I will verify. And I would prefer to see proof, whether that be from RCMP unredacted documents, pictures, video, something of that nature, right? I need something to confirm it. As far as who is the aggressor and who I'm going to say is the aggressor right now. So do you have anything else about the drugs or the altercation? If not, I'll play a little bit more of this.
And the altercation, I would just like to say that because we only have one side of that story again, we know that Daniel and Logan both kind of spoke to it, but the only one with any kind of detail, I think, was Haley, right? But again,
yes,
we weren't there, so we're left to assume. And I do think that eventually we'll know. We just got to be patient. That's all. But you go ahead.
And that's something, I said on your live the other day, was there is such a contrast between the amount of information that is released in the United States compared to Canada. Americans are used to having way more information. And for you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but for you guys, what has been released is considered a lot of information.
100%. It's all, and that's why it makes it so challenging to cover a Canadian case. No matter what kind of case it is, a missing child, a murder or anything like that, it makes it super hard, because we are lucky if we get to see the arrest warrant after somebody's arrested. We might get snippets of it in the media, but it's not like the States where it doesn't, like, even as a Canadian, I can go on to American courts websites and I can download all the court filings if I want to. And we don't have that access here. And like I said, we're lucky if we get it, even after we can get it after there's a conviction and stuff, but it costs you a lot of money. I think this was a few years back, and I was trying to get the trial transcripts from Paul Bernardo's trial, and back then it was $1,500. And I mean, you have to know that inflation happened, so it's hard to even get a mugshot as a private citizen. You can't even get a mugshot with somebody without applying and going through the red tape. It's a completely different system.
So do you think, as a Canadian, do you think the way we do it is better or the way you do it is better? And do you think it would be more helpful to have more freedom of access to information in cases like this?
I think it's the American freedom of information is much better for public access because the public has a right to know. We really do. And everybody, if you're accused of something and you're brought up on charges and you're going to to trial, you have the right to a fair trial, a public trial, and the public has a right to monitor that system. And it's really hard to do in Canada. Having said that, the entire judicial system, even though both countries are whacked when it comes to sentencing, I do not like the way judges in the United States are elected. They will, to me, and they're not supposed to, I get it, but they can be swayed by public opinion to keep their position, to win the vote. And I that's just the way I think of any politician, anybody whose job depends on popular opinion. I don't think that's right. But freedom of information, definitely better in the United States. Our penal system, both of them are absolutely out to lunch. But yeah, if we could mix the two systems, I think we'd have a pretty good system of justice going on.
I have to agree. Definitely both of them are whacked. I know I was talking with Belinda the other day and she was telling me a story of a man that I believe I might have this story backwards and I'm not on that screen to go look at it, but that this man basically had murdered his wife and got like 7 years and was out. I'm like, wow, really? Like, I know we have issues in our own judicial system here in the United States, but like you said, judges here can be swayed by not just public opinion in the way that they sentence and the way that they govern, even though they're not supposed to. But I feel like, and this is just my opinion, guys, even though I'm American, I agree with you. I don't like the way that judges are elected either. I feel like it's a popularity contest from high school because the most popular one or the one that knows more people or whatever is the one who's elected. I won't say what county in Indiana, but there was a county here, and it's not far from me at all. And the judge several years ago, and I'm talking, I think, probably 10, 15 years ago now, was actually caught in our state capitol with a paid partner, a lady of the night, you might say, and drugs. And he still got to sit on the bench, and he basically, because he was a judge, got no trouble over this, and it was basically swept under the rug. Now, if you went in front of him, he would throw the book at you. And he was elected by a popularity contest, essentially.
Yeah. And that's not right. When you have like a really high profile case and the judge has, I don't know, and I know they're not supposed to, but they're human beings. And if they, I feel like if they got wind that, you know, ruling one way or finding somebody not guilty would cause an uproar or could cost them their seat. They're human, and I don't trust that wouldn't impact their final decision. I just think it's wrong. I think that politicians, sure, there's no other way to do that because they all lie and they should all be, you know, they should be all, they're chained to every lawyer at the bottom of the ocean. I'm just saying. But when it comes to judges, the people who have the power to put an individual away for the rest of their lives, their job shouldn't depend on a popular vote. Just my opinion.
Oh, I fully agree. I don't know if you've seen this while you were gone, Helicopter. Grandma sent you a $5 super sticker.
Thank you, Helicopter. That's so nice of you. Thank you.
So I want to go back to Mariska's comment here. She said the federal and Supreme Court judges are appointed, and they are, and they must be approved by Congress. That is correct. State judges and your local judges here per county are elected, and that goes back to what we're saying, Mariska, is a lot of times it's more of a popularity contest, I feel, and I think that's kind of how Sharmain feels too, of how they're elected. But you know, if we go back to Delphi, right, and he got this 130-year sentence, right, but yet somebody else who murdered his wife, and I don't remember if he took out the kids or not. He was a state trooper here in Indiana, and he got way less, right? Like, it is so much ruled, I feel, the sentences based on public opinion. And I might be wrong, but that's, you know, that's how I feel. And I think that's kind of how you feel as well.
It is, and I'm glad that our system, I'm glad that I don't have that burden to choose a judge, to elect, to vote for a judge who could possibly set free an absolute monster or convict somebody on, you know, I don't know. It's just strange to me.
It is. Well, do you have anything else to say about the altercation at the end of the driveway? And then we will get off of the politics and judicial. We might have to make a live where we just compare the two one day.
Yeah, I'd like that. We can have a Canadian lawyer on and an American lawyer on and let them go at it.
Definitely. I think that would be interesting just to have a live one day comparing the two systems and the pros and cons to each of them, because I think that would be very interesting to see not only the comparison between the two, but how much public opinion can sway those.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't have anything else to say. We can continue. I'm going to let Harley in. I'll be back.
This is what would happen to your body.
And yeah, so they all got very, very mad when that came about, and they all kind of said, you know what, we already knew that. Well, if you knew that, why the hell is there children in a home with somebody like that? Like, why aren't you protecting the kids that way? Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the big piece that Logan and whoever else, this Darren guy that is related to Malia's side, I mean, he's just spewing a bunch of stuff that's not 100%.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
none of his stuff can be verified. So just remind me, when did this altercation break out? That was on the Saturday, right?
Yeah, that was just as Malaya was going down to the press conference. Yeah. So Malaya broke at the end of the driveway. She was crying, and I was like, what's going on? And she wouldn't talk. And I looked at her and I said, now's the time to talk. Like, you fucking talking. Like, what's going on? And she broke down, and that's what it came about, that he was doing that. So that fueled the family fight that there was. And I mean, yes, Janie or whatever her name was did go at Cheryl. Logan was trying to fight everybody in the driveway. They kicked us off the property because we found out something that nobody was supposed to find out, right?
Okay.
So something that Haley said there that caught my attention is they found out something that nobody was supposed to find out. So that tells me that Janie and possibly Malaya and anybody else on that property, right? I'm not just going to sit here and name names, but they were trying to hide the fact that there was drug use in the home. They were trying to keep Malaya's family from finding this out. And again, what does drug use? Yes, I think that the drugs possibly have something to do with the kids, but again, missing children trump any drug use, plain and simple, in my opinion. So I'll go ahead and continue.
So this was on the Saturday evening.
Yeah, just before Malaya had left. Malaya planned to, the baby was going to go with Logan. There was a lot of give me the baby, I'm taking the baby. And then, oh, you can come too. And it was kind of like, Malaya, I spoke to her and I was like, why don't you go with your mom? She wasn't made to go with her mom. As her sister, I could see what was right and what was wrong in that moment. And they were trying to persuade her to stay with the baby. And I told her that she really needs to sit and think what's best for her and the baby at this time. And she ended up going with her mom. And that was willingly. It was nobody talking her in to go. I'm just like, you have a home, you'll be treated right. There'll be food, there'll be love. Like, you know what I mean?
So she said, there will be food and there will be love. Well, where was the love for Jack and Lily? Where was them having unfettered access to food or food at all? Because there's pictures that we have of locks being on the refrigerator, and Daniel says, well, they could go in and get whatever they wanted out of the pantry, but yet says at the same time that nothing was out of place that morning. So that tells me that they didn't get up and get food. And again, we come back to food and love. The kids will go with anybody for water or a snack. Like, those are not normal things, in my opinion, that a parent would say or even show in a good light. The kids, I just, that bugs me. And as far as Meadow goes, I don't think either one of them should have or will have custody of Meadow until there is some sort of resolution to the fact that 2 out of 3 kids in that home are missing. Like, if you believe that Meadow will be returned to Daniel or Malaya before this case is resolved, not resolved, it's resolved or solved. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that either Daniel or Malaya, either one, will get custody back before this case is brought to some sort of resolution. Put a 2 if you think there's no way in holy hell that they will get custody back before this. Oh, Chat's moving a little fast. So agree, Meadow needs stability, but I don't think Daniel or Malaya or Janie thought that far ahead. I agree. There's a lot of twos. Exactly. Like I don't see that happening. I really don't. Jesse, you put a 0. Do you care to tell me what 0 means? Like, do you think they will then, or are you just on the fence somewhere? So I just wanted to point that out about you'll be in a home where there's food and love, because 0% chance. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Again, food and love. Why does everything revolve around they'll come to you if you give them food. They'll come to you if you give them water. Like, those are the bare necessities. I mean, it would have sounded better if she said they'll come to you for a lollipop than they'll come to you if you offer them water, in my opinion. So I will go ahead and play some more of this. Yeah, everybody kind of agrees. Ron Mexico, you are the only one I've seen. So you think that one of them will get... Wendy, you said me too. So you think that one of them will get custody of Meadow before this case comes to some sort of resolution? What do you think, Shar? Do you think either one of them will get custody while the kids are still missing of Meadow?
Just furthering on what Ron said here, it depends on them if they jump through the hoops. I don't think so, because of the hoops that they have to jump. Okay, so we've got Malia in a mental ward. We've got Daniel, random drug testing, having car accidents, and then all of this suspicion. Now, having said that, if this case goes on and on and on, there will have to be a decision made in Meadow's case, because there isn't a system of justice out there, even in family court, who's going to allow a child to remain in foster care when there is a foster family who is ready and willing to adopt her. And I mean, I don't know Daniel that well. I mean, at all, right? I've never met him. But I don't think he's the single father type. And I don't mean any disrespect with that. I feel like men like Daniel would want and need a mother for his children. And I don't think that, I don't know, I don't think that their behavior online and in private during the disappearance of their kids, of the two kids, is promoting themselves as good candidates to be a single parent for Meadow. Not when she's doing so well in foster care. And like I said, if there's not a system of justice out there that's going to allow her to live in foster care for years on end if Jack and Lily's case goes cold. So I don't think it's 100% dependent on that, on this case's resolution. But I do think that if this case is not solved, there is a much higher chance that Meadow will be adopted by her foster. So it's kind of a long way to answer no. I don't think that they're going to get custody of Meadow back. But I don't think that the outcome of this case is as dependent on that as we might think. if that makes sense. Their behavior, their current situations do not scream, I can take care of Meadow, no matter what. She's doing just fine in foster. So I think the chances of her being adopted are far greater than either one of those two ever getting Meadow back, in my opinion. Sadly.
And I have
He's
to,
allowed to, April. He's allowed to, like from court, whatever, but his ex-wife doesn't want it because of the negativity and the spotlight. And according to Daniel, he has respected her wishes. He did obviously try to reach out and contact his biological kids, but when put to him that look at the public, look at what you're doing, your kids are missing, you really want your kids in that spotlight. I mean, it's best for his kids that they're not. So although I think he's got like access rights, he does have visitation rights, not voluntarily, but he's not exercising those rights. What did Ron say? Sorry, I'm taking over your channel. Sorry, I want to see what Ron said. I don't know, Shar, hard to take someone's kids permanently if there is no evidence of them doing wrong. However, it depends on what you call evidence, because drug use in the home, reckless behavior with all of the wrecked vehicles. Now Malaya was doing her thing, and now she's in where she's at, and their kids are still missing. So it all matters, and it all goes for, this is about the welfare and the future of Meadow, what's best for that baby. So neither parent right now is, and you can't even pick one over the other because they're both a shit show. So that's why I'm saying I know that the Fosters are definitely agreeable to adopting her permanently, and that's not going to happen right away. I'm not saying that, but I think it's there's a higher likelihood that happens than either one of these two get her back. At least until Jack and Lily are found or there's a resolution. Just my opinion. But sorry. It's your channel again. Now I have to go pee. I apologize.
you're fine.
Your thing.
And I agree. They're going to have a lot of hoops to jump through to even have a chance of getting Meadow back. But I highly doubt that they do. Like, I guess part of the reason I say that is because in the United States, there would be no, it wouldn't happen. Not until either the kids are found and brought home safely, or until there's some sort of resolution to the case. So Tambourine said, I think a family member would be more likely to get custody until Jack and Lily case is resolved, in my opinion, and allegedly. I have to agree with that. I don't think that Janie would stand a chance in hell, considering that she lives in an RV and she seems to have some extreme anger issues, in my opinion. But I could see possibly Cindy or another family member getting Meadow. But again, they would have to take her out of a family that she is thriving in, absolutely thriving, to do so, and put her with somebody, to my understanding, that hasn't had any contact with her since she's been in the care and custody of CPS. I mean, it's possible, but if I had to pick family member, Daniel or Malaya, I would pick family member, but I really don't think either are going to do it. Jenna says, they haven't been charged with anything. All they have to do is comply with providing a stable environment, clean drug tests, watch and see. Again, you go back to, they're going to have to jump through a lot of hoops. And providing a stable environment is key there. I don't know how it is in Canada, but if in America, if you've got a new girlfriend every other week that's in and out of the home, and all of that, it doesn't look good on you, and it's not considered a stable environment. Then you go to the text messages that were released on Clutchpearls of how Daniel talked to his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, and again, not the best look. So I think stable environment there is going to be the key. Anybody can fake a drug test. Anybody can get clean. Again, he says he does methamphetamine every day and it doesn't bother him and it doesn't affect him. And he uses it to self-medicate for ADHD or whatever, according to other channels. So that one I have an issue. I wonder about, right? So did Daniel Martell's children not say they saw Daniel Martell abuse Jack and Lilly? Yes. That is in the court, I think the court documents. But yes, it has been said. Daniel even said it himself on the DT show that his kids said that. So yes, that has been said. I thought I heard it, but again, who knows what to believe anymore in this case. And Helicopter Grandma, that is kind of where we're all at. We're trying to find the truth and something that makes sense in a case that doesn't make sense and is full of lies and full of misinformation coming from families. So it's really hard to figure out what is true and what is not. So Lori said, drug addicts that have been clean for a long period do get their kids back. They do. But again, there's not just that issue that he has to confront and deal with. So there's going to be a lot of hoops that he has to jump through. So April, you said, Char, do you know if he's allowed to have contact with his other children? So Sharmain just answered that. Legally, yes, but his ex-wife, and I can't blame her, is doing what is best and looking out for her children, and not letting him. So I can see that. From her point of view. I feel like Malaya Brooks Murray took all the sympathy from everyone that gave it to her for too long, and now most of them are starting to ask questions. Helped her, spared her, and now not there for her as much, in my opinion. So when this case first started, I started doing the document and stuff, I really, really tried to give Malaya and Daniel and even Janie benefit of the doubt. But the more they talked, Daniel and Janie, that is, the harder it was to deal with that. The harder it was to try to give any benefit at all. Animal Keeper, just wondering, did they already talk about the beach was dealing with my puppy? Yes, I did. It was one of the first things I did. I think it maybe go back to about 15 minutes, 20 minutes in. And you can watch that on replay. Text messages on Clutchpearls would not be allowed in family court. You're correct. They wouldn't. However, if the RCMP got a hold of Daniel's phone and it ran a Cellbrite download, which is just a download of his phone, even if those text messages were deleted, that would be admissible in court. Those messages would be seen and therefore making them admissible in court. In my opinion, but a lot of people that have drug problems don't have missing kids. Correct. And I think, there's definitely I know in the United States, I have to agree, and from watching this case, I have to agree with Canada too. I think there needs to be an overhaul of kind of our CPS system. So a judge won't care about kinky text. Okay. From consenting adults. Okay. I can give that to you, Polly. However, they weren't just necessarily kinky text, right? He was saying he wanted to grape her. Like, let's be honest, those are admissible. Also, Malaya's mental health and poor choices is also another factor. A lot of mothers do have episodes with mental health and take it out on their own children, and Meadow would be at risk. I agree. Meadow would be at risk at this point. So I don't mean to miss anybody. So I just went down here. FYI, they do interrogate children to get the answer if they want, just FYI. Yes, they can interrogate a child. A defense lawyer will also bring up Taylor going into a mental hospital. She's not a valid witness of anything, just another opportunist. I agree. I agree definitely that she was an opportunist. So I'm going to play out a little bit more of this. There's only a few more seconds left. And then by then, Shar will be back and we can talk some more.
So
I do got to jump off. I have some things to do, but I'll catch you later if that's okay.
absolutely. Thank you, Haley.
No problem.
Oh, okay. Didn't realize all she had left to say was she was jumping off. Let me see here. Hold on a minute. I'm going to take that off so we can see the babies and their faces. So again, like they're saying that the text messages they don't think would be admissible even with a Cellbrite. Haley ended up jumping off. That was the last of that one. We are already a little over 2 hours in, so I'm not going to go over any more of the other ones because we're already, 2 hours in. Let me see. Oh, remove that. Okay, so here is again one of the pictures that was sent to Sharmain to share. You can see Daniel at least looking as if he's sleeping anyway. He might have been, I don't know. So there's Jack and Lily. And they definitely, I agree, Shar, they do look younger in this picture. But it's still a picture that we haven't seen. And somebody said it earlier, they look very comfortable with Daniel. And since this is an older picture, I believe they are comfortable at this time. That doesn't mean they were comfortable when they disappeared. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, a picture is a snapshot of a moment in time, right? Like, they look content here, and they look happy in a lot of the pictures that we've seen. The bottom line is that they're missing, and something happened. And something happened because their parents did not get up that morning. So, at the very least, these children weren't watched. Lily was sick enough to be called out of school, and her mother did not get up to check on her, see how she was feeling. And if we are to believe what we've been told, the children were able to get themselves dressed and get outside and play and wander whatever, either into the woods or up to the road. I mean, one or the other, right? They weren't watched. There's a failure here on the parents' part. No matter what happened to them, the blame still falls on their parents because they're missing. So no matter what their pictures look like, there was something else going on. It's just there's no other way to see this case. Somebody didn't. It happens in the United States. It's happened so many times where strangers will come into a house and steal a child. That didn't happen here. These parents did not get out of bed. These little babies got outside because their house wasn't secure, and they disappeared off the face of the earth from there. And we know that their mother was up at 8:28 trying to call her own mother. We know that their step-grandmother heard them playing outside sometime after 5 to 9. And nobody got up to check on them. That's a problem. And that's not just my opinion, that's facts. Unless something happened Thursday night, that's facts. So that's what I think about that snapshot moment in time. They're perfectly content doing whatever I call baby shark. But they're perfectly happy in these pictures, in my opinion. Doesn't mean anything to anything else around that.
I agree. You know, it's a snapshot in time, and you can look happy and content. That doesn't mean right after this picture they weren't yelled at, right? We don't know. We weren't there. But Charmaine, do you think that she was truly sick as the reason she didn't go to school, or do you think it's because of the black eye that she didn't go to school? Me personally, I'm going with the black eye.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when we heard about the black eye, Daniel volunteered that information that she had, had that mishap with the Tonka truck at Grandma Patty's. Whether that's true or not doesn't matter, but if there was CPS involvement already, they could have been scared for the kids to go to school if Lily had a black eye. I mean, it's completely possible. I think that myself, it probably had something to do with the black eye, but it also could have had a lot to do with, we've heard that there was an argument on Thursday, and maybe Malaya was up late, and maybe she just didn't have the energy to get up and get the kids ready for school and off to the school bus. But I think it had more to do with not wanting the school to see that black eye.
I agree, because school had already called CPS on them for issues before with the black eye and not being dressed properly.
Yeah.
So that was the first picture for us to share. And again, I love this picture of them. I just absolutely love that. That's just, they look.
I'm not dismissing any possibility other than them walking into the woods. I dismiss that completely. But I think that because of everything that we know about the case, I believe that it's not probable, but it's possible. It's possible. It's possible that somebody they knew came across them at the road. But I believe that's the most likely scenario, that they walked up to the road and they were picked up. It's just by who and for what purpose.
Well, I mean, if we have to go with the kids walked away, then them walking up to the road, in my opinion, is the most likely of the they walked away scenarios instead of they wandered off in the woods, because I don't personally believe that.
Yeah, and this is fine, Tam. I didn't even see your comment. So, I mean, whatever. I was giving my opinion. It wasn't based on whatever comment you made at all. But your opinion is no more or less relevant than mine. I'm sorry if it connected and it felt like I was being offensive towards you, but I didn't even see it. So,
I mean, that's all we've got is our opinions, right? That's all we have at this point. We have our opinions and we have speculation of what could have happened. But we can't just rule out any certain thing except for they wandered off in the woods, because I think they would have been found. And I'll eat my words if they're found in the woods, proving that they had walked off in the woods and were not carried into said woods. But that's all we have. And like you said, nobody's opinion, whether it's yours or mine or anybody else's, is any more correct than anybody else's.
yeah.
So
This was my number one theory, just because Lily had her backpack and all the stuff that we heard, and they had lost the scent at the end of the driveway. I really thought that, it was totally plausible to me that Lily got herself and Jack ready to go to school, just popping her head in and out, just trying to see maybe if mom and dad were going to get up, we're ready to go, we want to go to school, whatever. That made sense to me. And it still does, but I just don't know. And then one more, and then you can. I have two more that they're asking me. I think for me, Ron, the wandering in the woods theory, I've dismissed it for two reasons. My number one reason is because 150 searchers for 6 days, drones, helicopters, dogs. 75 searchers for 2 more days, drones, helicopters, dogs, HRD dogs. Please bring me home. Not a shred of evidence can be linked directly to Jack or Lily being out there. And I don't see it, and I don't think it's worth the time and the breath it would take to venture down that. Number two reason, there is another channel out there who is fantastic at explaining and mansplaining why that is the only possibility. So I'll leave it to him. And then the tan car with the older lady took the kids. I do know some inside information about that tip, and we will discuss it one night. It deserves some attention, and I don't think it's gotten any. But I just don't. I'm willing to talk about it, and I'll leave it at that. Sorry, Melissa, go ahead.
So I've not ruled out, like you said, that Lily didn't get up and get Jack ready and may have headed down to the end of the driveway, and some opportunistic person took that and abducted the kids. Is it my main theory? No. But it's not ruled out. Even the RCMP said everything is still on the table. And the only thing I can't see is them willingly going into the woods and having not been found, or any shred of evidence having been found of them.
Yeah, like absolutely nothing. And those boot prints, I know that they're like similar size, whatever, but there's also an explanation, and neither one have been ruled in or ruled out. So I still question the cluster, because what did they do? And I don't want to be a smartass, and I don't want to debate it for you, but in my head, I'm like, okay, so how did they get there? Because there were no other prints found on any of the trails leading up that way. Did they fly, levitate? They get driven up there, dropped off, just in one little spot to dance around and then pick back up and driven away? I don't want to get into it. I've thought about it. I've ran around in my mind about it. I believe that there are boot prints up there, but I believe they belong to the lady that Janie was talking to that morning, who had a child on her quad, who the child got off the quad to go to the bathroom, and it was not ruled out. It was not debunked. It was actually confirmed by, the lady was actually Brian Ward's wife, and she confirmed that, as did Janie. So I think I don't know where she stopped to talk to this lady with the child on the quad, but I think that is an explanation that would work for me. It would. But
I
like I
agree.
said, it's getting plenty of coverage and plenty of professional investigating on that other channel, and I'll leave it to him.
I fully agree. I think those footprints are most likely from the bus driver's wife's child. So Mariska said there's no evidence that the parents did anything either. You're correct. There's not. And again, that's where we go back to um, there are so many different scenarios that could have happened, and we really can't rule any of them out fully. But them walking away into the woods voluntarily and having been missed by drones, helicopters, searchers, dogs, both scent and cadaver, I think it's pretty clear we can put that one at the bottom of the list. So this is the second picture, Sharmain, that you sent me to be released. And this is Daniel Martel, one of his children. Then you've got Jack, another one of his children that you've bleeped out with a heart. And we've got Lilly here.
So cute. Just having a day. And somebody said that Meadow was sit back with Malaya, obviously taking this picture, but they didn't go into the water once. And I don't see a bad thing about that, because there have been many times I don't like cold water at all. Like the Shuswap, when I go in it, it's lukewarm. Otherwise, I don't go in it. And so I don't hold anything against. I don't think it makes Malaya a bad mom if she didn't go in the lake this day. So that's just my opinion on the information that was given to me when I got this picture. I'm just like, yeah, well, I don't think I would have either. Water looks kind of cold. It's probably maybe not the Atlantic Ocean, but it's probably fed by the Atlantic Ocean, which is freaking cold. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't blame her for not taking Meadow in the water. I mean, she's got 4 kids she's trying to keep an eye on and make sure nothing happens, making sure they don't get hurt, making sure that they don't drown. And Meadow would have been young when this picture was taken. So I see no issue with her not taking Meadow in the water.
Are you talking about Patty Maritzka? I mean, she clearly had her days mixed up. Unless okay, so we don't know for sure. We've heard different things. I've got my own belief, but we've heard that Patty was the 7th polygraph test. And the only way that I think Patty would have been polygraphed is if her timeline, if Malaya and Daniel's, I guess, cell phone data, their metadata or whatever they're tracking, didn't, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but because her statement was so far off what Daniel and Malaya said happened on Wednesday, I was told that Patty had a drinking problem that had been exacerbated and so much worse since the kids went missing. And possibly early onset Alzheimer's a little bit. And she didn't have a clear memory of the last time Daniel and Malaya were there with the kids, because she said it was like a week before or something. So I automatically assumed, well, this statement, obviously the RCMP probably looked into it, but with Malaya's Google Maps and the timeline that they gave and doing laundry at Grandma Patty's and the fact that she went to the DMV and got the plate for that car, all of that stuff is traceable, right? The RCMP can investigate that and solidify that information, corroborate that information. Notice that? I didn't say corroborate. Corroborate that information with solid proof that actually have those things happened. So if what Patty is saying goes against that, unless they thought Patty was purposely lying, but I don't think so. So long story short, I don't think Patty was the 7th polygraph test. But is that what you were talking about, Mariska? Oh, about the car and the lady? My bad. I just totally went off on that for no reason. That's good. I love a delay in chat. Yeah, no, that's like my next live stream that I'm planning. Still don't have my head wrapped around the information that I have, but I will. We'll do it together. We'll figure it out. Sorry, Melissa. Again, I keep taking over your chat. I'm so sorry.
They're almost all from yours anyway, so it's okay. I don't mind. The whole point of this.
If you guys haven't subscribed to Melissa, I would love it if you could. We're trying to get her to 500. So we can do it as a community. Let's help another friend get it. Remember, we helped Mike MX get to where he was getting? Let's go. Let's go.
And we got Shan to 1,000 now. So happy about that.
Yes.
But I mean, we didn't get through really everything I wanted to go through, but we got through at least one of them, and we are releasing these newer pictures of the kids, ones that haven't been out there, and just kind of discussing it. And that's kind of what this whole live was going to be about anyway. So I think we're doing just fine.
If you want to continue, I mean, I got nothing going on. I have some dishes to do. But me and her, I decided on, this is terrible, but I decided on DoorDash, and I got myself some McDonald's delivered. Full transparency, the McDonald's is a block and a half away. I just didn't want to go anywhere. But I did it. So anyways, I'm fed. Harley's fed. We're good. So if you wanna end it, we can end it. Otherwise, I'm good to keep going. Whatever.
So I think we're just gonna end it because the other two videos, one with Hidden in the Fog, and one with, I'm gonna butcher this, but Shinatra Speaks. They're both an hour long, so I will do those and go through those another day. But I will put real quick, let me grab the link to those and put them in my chat. I'm not sure if this also goes to your channel or not, but I will grab them.
Just put it in the show notes. It'll show up in my description. It's fine.
I believe they are actually in the description of the video. Give me 1 second here to confirm that. Yes, they are. So they're in the description of my video, all the ones that I wanted to go over, but again, it took us 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get through a 10-minute video. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to say, or
No, I'm good. Thank you everybody for being here, and like I said, go over and let's get Melissa to 500. 500, the quicker the better, because anybody that puts that much time and energy and concentration into building that document, they deserve it. It's free to do.
So I want to again go through these. Shar, you gifted 10 memberships. It says 5 here, but you did do 10. Thank you, Woman's Warrior, for becoming a member of Shar's channel. Ben, thank you for your 5 memberships. Helicopter Grandma, thank you for your $5 super sticker. And thank you, Shannon. You said your membership had run out and you didn't realize it. So I'll let Sharmain thank you guys, and then we'll get out of here for the night.
crazy. I can't believe that people actually become members of my channel. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. Thank you. And thank you, Melissa. This was good. It's nice to have somebody else to talk to, and then I still get lost in chat. So sorry about that.
And if we didn't get to y'all's comments, sorry, but there was at one point 320 some odd people in here. So they were flying at times.
Yeah. It's good. Thanks everybody for being here. Happy
So-
Sunday.
Lynn said, in my opinion, I wish one of the people at the home would speak for the children, even if it was an accident. Come forward, please. I agree. I fully agree with that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you know something, you need to talk. The first one to talk is going to get the better deal, and in Canada, the better deal usually means slap on the wrist. Honestly, like just give Jack and Lily that. They deserve so much more in life than they deserve. They still deserve so much more than that.
They
really do.
deserve justice, and they deserve to be home. And I mean, that's just how it is. So good night, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
No amount of time will make us stray. We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts. You're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all the lost, both the near and far. You're in our hearts. You're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home.